Alrighty, folks, welcome into Chalk Talk Social. It is Friday, January 9th. We got the Fiesta Bowl just coming about. So Miami Ole Miss happened. We got Jaguars fan joining us on the show today. We got more coaching firings happening. Iman finally gets his wish. John Harbaugh is gone. He is no longer the coach of the Baltimore Ravens. McDaniel out in Miami. Mike McCarthy back in the coaching cycle. A whole bunch of stuff going on in football. Emo, what's going on? How we been? How we feeling?
Hey, you already know it's a Friday episode, so you gotta be about your money. You gotta be about your biz, and you know it's me when you hear that. There it is, man. What a week! Listen, hey, new start for my Baltimore Ravens. I'm excited now. It's a year or two late because imagine us firing him, hiring Mr. Mike McDonald. We would be where Seahawks is now, but it's okay. I'll take it, and we'll elaborate it on a little later. But shout out to my girlfriend. Her birthday is yesterday, the 8th. And then my nephew's birthday was the day before that. He's a teenager now. He go from 12 to 13. I told him, your ball's starting to drop now. So hey, listen, I got two. I got two of those. And what's funny, my oldest sister's birthday is the 13th. When I tell you, I got just emotional people around me. I got them around me. Well, so yeah, happy birthday to both them, my girlfriend, my nephew, and my sister.
Happy birthday. Hey, you know who else's birthday was? Lamar Jackson. I don't know if you maybe considered the firing a birthday present or what it was, but obviously there was all the drama inside, like, oh, well, the players are so happy, and then there are like people coming instantly out like disputing that. Like, no, there was not this like thing of Harbaugh was not wanted. He was out. It was a whole bunch of stuff going on as soon as it happened. That the players felt one way, the coaches felt one way, and then everyone comes out and be like, no, that's not at all what was happening. So I don't know what's going on inside the building, certainly. But I'm loving the rumors. I love being rumor season. We have a lot of Harbaugh and other coaching stuff to cover most of the news desk today. But like I said, as we always do on a Friday, we got a fan joining us today. And this is a fan who his Jaguars are feeling pretty damn good about themselves right now. It's been a little while. They haven't had a great coach in a while. They haven't seen the best of Trevor Lawrence pretty much ever yet. And it seems like they're finally seeing it and how magnificent that looks. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring in our Jaguars fan today. We got Nash joining the show. Nash, how we doing, man? How we feeling about them Duval?
What's up, everyone? Thanks so much for having me. Super excited to be talking about some Jags playoff football now. So excited to be joining and ready to get into it.
Absolutely, man. I mean, a hell of a season, hell of a turnaround. I mean, especially when you're considering Trevor Lawrence, it looked like just any old season for Trevor Lawrence. Another guy who like still at a 78 to 79 overall in Madden, couldn't get over the hump really. And then you see ever since the start of December, even a little earlier, pretty much ever since Jacoby Myers got there, it's been a whole turnaround. But December since then specifically, they're 5-0. He's got like a 63% completion, 1,300 pass yards, 13 tuds, 113 passer rating, and another 4 rushing touchdowns. And, obviously he was the AFC player of the month for December / January. And then, hey, I'd be remiss if I didn't call out that they're 11-1 with Brenton Strange and 2-3 without Brenton Strange. Just a fact. I don't know. Just saying, putting it out there. I really like him. He helped me in fantasy. But how are you feeling about it all, man?
Yeah, I'm just super excited. This is pretty rare territory as a Jags fan, especially considering the fact that we got a first-year head coach. We've only hosted 2 playoff games since the turn of the century. So Jacksonville is definitely buzzing up and really excited for Sunday's game against the Bills. And I think the community is definitely rallying around Liam Coen, Trevor, and this whole team because it's definitely not something the national media and really a lot of people in Duval expected even going into the start of the year.
Mm-hmm. I mean, where was the fan base with Trevor Lawrence before the turnaround this season? Let's start there because obviously, like I said, it was looking like just another season of T-Law before the turnaround. So, walk me through the progression of Jaguars fandom with him this season.
Yeah, I think really to start that off, you kind of have to look before that and just quickly mention about the position he was thrust into in his rookie year with Urban Meyer. Of course, what a disaster that turned out to be. And then you obviously saw a year of stability with Doug Peterson when he came in. And I think, and obviously we won our division. I think that gave a lot of fans some hope for what we expected and what was to come. So I think after that, a lot of people kind of were back on the Trevor train. I mean, I'm not saying anyone left after the Urban Meyer experience, but I think since then, most people, including me, have kind of stayed riding the ship. And obviously it's panning out now, but there have been some people I think that would like to have said the opposite a little bit earlier this year, because obviously he has totally flipped the script on a lot of what the pundits were saying. But I think it's definitely in a lot of ways respect to just what Liam Coen has instilled in this culture and what he's done with Trevor this year.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Liam Coen, I mean, and granted, you look a little young. We don't even got to go age, so I know you haven't been around a long time.
For the Tom Coughlin era.
Yeah, I was around during that time. But in your opinion, is Coen top 3 coach of all time in Jacksonville just from 1 year and what he's been able to do in such a short time?
I definitely think he's entered that conversation for sure, and I think a lot of even guys that have been around since 95 would say that. Especially, I mean, obviously Coughlin's got to be the top since you've got the 2 conference championships, and then Jack Del Rio. I mean, people could disagree, but longest tenured 8 years and also 2 playoff berths. So I think he's got to go 2. But then it's kind of where the debate really begins. And I think he could slide in above Doug Marrone there. I know we had the AFC championship with Doug Marrone, but
the Blake Bortles years.
Yeah. But after that, the sustainability wasn't really there with Marrone. And that's kind of what fueled his exit. And I think that's what a lot of Jags fans are hoping is different this time around because of the promise with this young staff and with what Liam Coen's brought this year.
Yeah, I mean,
and he's got a little better quarterback, Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, no kidding.
Blake Bortles was good for what he was, but Trevor's a little better.
Yeah, and
I mean, if nothing, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, definitely one major difference between that 2017 year, I would say, is definitely the mesh with offense and defense. You know, in my opinion, 2017 much more reliant on that the forefront with Calais Campbell, Unique Ngakoue, but then this year, you know, we got plus 153 point differential the last 8 games. So it's much different with that offensive production. And I think in a lot of ways that has helped balance out this team going into the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, if he's not a top 3 coach, I feel like he's no doubt like already a top, maybe 2 play caller that this team has ever had. Yeah. I mean, he's been a wizard this season, and the Bucs are just that whole thing when he came over. I mean, we can get into it. I mean, first of all, when they hired Liam Coen, just out of curiosity, did you feel like that was the right hire when they hired him?
I'm going to be honest. I was one of the people that was a little bit more skeptical just because of how much he had bounced around in his coaching career. I'm not going to try and sit here and act like I was all rah about it, but obviously you saw some flashes with what he did with Baker and last year in Tampa, of course, total production. And then Will Levis, who is obviously someone that's had his fair struggles, but major production with him and not a ton of supporting cast around him in Kentucky. So he definitely knew what he was doing with quarterbacks. I wouldn't say I anticipated this level one bit at all, but I was at least hoping we would have a shot at the playoffs, not necessarily even win the division, but to say where we are now, I would say, me personally, I did not expect this level of success.
That's fair. No, it's fair, and it's definitely been great. I mean, how about on the other side of the ball, right? I mean, Anthony Campanelli. Is it Campanelli? Am I saying there? I should know this because he was with my Packers, and when we lost him, was like that feels like a huge loss to lose him because of what we saw him do with the unit he was managed. I think he was their linebackers coach with the Packers, and just how much he meant to that whole defense. And then he comes into Jacksonville, his first year head coach, and your secondary is flying around doing incredible. Devin Lloyd ascends into he was already good, and now he just has a superstar caliber season. Yeah, that's crazy. He got snubbed after all those picks. Trayvon Walker not showing up on the sack column, but he certainly has been an amazing run defender. And Josh Allen-Hines is another just season of dominance with at least getting a lot of pressures. You know, I'm not a big pressures guy if you're not, adding at least double-digit sacks. But being disruptive again, and I think he's had a lot of impact when turnovers were forced. It has a lot to do with what he was doing up front. So everything is working on that defense. Is this maybe the best defense since that Jalen Ramsey, like Blake Bortles era defense, or is it perhaps maybe their best defense of all time from your standpoint?
Yeah, I would say I'm not sure I could go and say it's better than that 2017 defense, but I would say definitely the best since that mark. I mean, you look at what this unit has done against the rushing attack. We've played teams like Colts with Jonathan Taylor, Niners with McCaffrey. We still haven't allowed a 100-yard rusher the entire year. So I think that mark really speaks volumes for what this front has been able to do. And again, you go back to coaching, because a lot of the faces on that side of the ball are not necessarily new guys that have been used to with Campanelli or Coen. They're guys that have been with previous staffs, even back to the Meyer times. So it's really, in my opinion, just speaks volumes to what he can do, has clearly done in that locker room to just totally instill confidence in the entire 53-man roster.
Yeah. And listen, Nash, I want to preface it. I haven't been drinking the Kool-Aid of the Jacksonville Jaguars. So before I listen, I'm a Baltimore Ravens fan, but we're out now. So I don't have a dog in the fight, but I'm a big Josh Allen fan. I just respect the crowd. I played quarterback in high school, receiver in college, but I'm a big Josh Allen fan. So I got to admit before I say this, I predicted y'all to lose the first round.
Okay. You're going to be eating those words.
Listen, I maybe not, but we'll see.
I'm with Nash on this one. I'm with Nash.
Yeah, he picked Jacksonville for y'all. But
Nice.
How do you think this playoff scenario is going to work out for y'all? And kind of what you think is going to happen? Your playoff prediction, all the way or second round maybe?
Well, I would preface this first game with saying that Buffalo hasn't beat us in Jacksonville in 12 years, and we've won our last 3 home playoff games. And Buffalo is 0-8 in their last 8 road playoff games. So just those 3 stats to throw out before I get into my actual prediction. But I think you really just have to look at what this offense in Jacksonville has been able to do the past month and a half, 2 months. And I don't really think there's anything you can take away from that. And in my opinion, at least, say they're going to be a first round exit team, especially playing in their home crowd that hasn't seen a home game in 4 years now, I guess. So I think this whole community has been thirsty for a team like this. And now that you have it in a first-year coach with Lawrence, who's been so promised, and of course, he's got a 15-1 touchdown interception ratio in the last 6 games, which is something we have not seen that level of production in his career so far for us. So I think you got to look at the offensive production, and then James Cook is such a big asset for this Bills team. And obviously this has been mentioned in the pressers leading up to the game. But personally, I think it will be his attack will be limited this weekend. It will be much more forced on Josh Allen. But our defense has done so well against scrambling quarterbacks. I just don't see the Bills doing enough offensively to match the Jags' high-octane offense. So I think it's a high-scoring game. But my prediction would be 30-24 Jacksonville.
Ooh, I
going back on your pick?
No, hell no. I'm about to text and call Josh Allen now and say, hey, look, Nashton gave you some bulletin board material. 0-8, y'all. He's saying it's impossible. But see, I think you jinxed them, Nash. When you throw out those stats like that, I know you watch a lot of football. You might have jinxed them because when you throw out they haven't won. And listen,
it's a fascinating. Go ahead, Fisher.
No. I'm just saying, I'm calling Josh Allen when it's over, and I'm gonna tell him to look at this. They listen to us. Look at this podcast, Nash. Your face is gonna be on his locker come tomorrow.
I was going to say, this is a fascinating series, right? They're both teams, the Bills versus the Jags, they're both 10-10 in this series, right? And every if you break it down, every 2 games, so in their last 2 games, they're both 1-1. Last 4 games, they're both 2-2. Last 6 games, 3-3, 4-4, 5. It's a very weird series if you just break it down, a 2-game split. I don't know. And clearly, who won the last game?
Lawrence is 2-1 against the Bills, but we actually lost. We got totally crushed in Buffalo last time we played them, but that was very end of the Peterson era.
So it seems like if we're going off of this, it's the Jaguars' turn. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing numbers. Again, I'm not implying anything besides what history has told me.
Yeah, I like to hear.
I love to hear it. So, I mean, how deep are the Jags going this year? Are we talking? I somehow, when we did this on our last episode, I ended up Seahawks Jags as a Super Bowl.
He's saying y'all going to the Super Bowl.
I'm just going to be straight honest with you. I have that exact same matchup. Honestly,
my guy.
So I filled out my bracket 2 days ago, and I ended with that exact matchup. And we actually were competitive with them in the regular season, even though that was at the start of the year when we weren't playing our best ball. But I think personally, for playoff-wise, I know I got some bias, obviously, but you really have to look at how open the AFC is and who we beat. You know, we put up more points in Denver than anyone has in the last few years. I think we're capable of beating them. We should have beat the Texans twice. They're another team people are picking to go all the way. So I just think once you start checking off the list, it really becomes open to me to the point where I think we're definitely Super Bowl capable.
I can't wait to see
Jacksonville in the Super Bowl. In this century,
it's not what the national media wants to see, but
no, they'll find a way to rig those games. You know damn well there's gonna be some phantom calls. And the thing that Iman's got in this case with the Bills thing, and then something you mentioned, fans haven't seen a home playoff game in a hot minute. There's a lack of playoff experience with this team that it matters. Those playoff games and that experience really matters here. And the Bills with Josh Allen, the best quarterback in the playoffs, and McDermott, they have so much more playoff experience and big game, big moment experience. And, I would love to use this playoffs to totally change my mind about Trevor Lawrence in terms of him, a little bit of a choke artist here and there, some untimely turnovers throughout his whole career, and he seemed to have really got it turned around. Liam Coen has unlocked freaking megastar Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
And I really want to use the playoffs to gauge, all right, is he here? And then, it needs to obviously run into next season because right now we got about a half a season of it of like, okay, megastar Trevor Lawrence. But I think regardless of what happens, we kind of know what the team is at this point and isn't. What are you doing this offseason with the Jaguars to really take that next step? Or who needs to go? Who needs to come in? What needs to be done to make this like a perennial thing?
Yeah, I think personally, I know this might be a hot take kind of, but I would transition Travis Hunter almost exclusively defense personally, because I think you really have to look at what this wide receiver room has done without him. You've got a ton of depth. You just signed Jacoby Myers on a 3-year extension and look at the production he's given us. I mean, Brenton Strange, Parker Washington, Tim Patrick, it's 11 touchdown 11 people that Trevor Lawrence has thrown to for a touchdown this year. So definitely a deep wide receiver room. And then obviously Hunter's just a unicorn, an unbelievable talent. And I think he would be more successful personally if he was positioned more exclusively on the defense. And I think the safety cornerback room is something that we haven't had as much stability in the last couple of years as now we have with the wide receiver room. So that would definitely be one of the key points I would focus on. And then also I would lock up, obviously counting money, but I would try and keep ETN for sure. I know we've got success from Baishal Tutin and LaQuint Allen, who are both rookies and were both big hits from James Gladstone, our new young GM in the draft. But I think what you've seen from ETN this year is he's gotten the ball a lot more. He's very versatile, receiving, running. He can do a lot. I mean, he's 1,100 rushing yards, quite 1,100 because he hasn't really gotten enough attention, in my opinion. But I would definitely extend ETN, been with Lawrence for 8 years, and switch Travis Hunter primarily defense.
I kind of like that. And I would say the Parker Washington emergence here late in the season, I really liked him coming out of Penn State, what he was doing. I thought he went later in the draft than he would have, and he's looking like a nice weapon. And Tim Patrick, he is what he is at this point. And he probably, who knows if he'll be around next season, but still, like you said, you got to imagine Brian Thomas is going to regain his footing a little bit. I don't think anyone saw it. A lot of people spent a first round pick there in their fantasy drafts and got burned real bad. And then like you said with Hunter, like they're making it work on offense without him. The whole season he was barely used, never really got involved. He had the one game as he pretty much got hurt and then goes down, and then the offense is just firing. So there's no reason to try to mix him in. And I think it would only disrupt what you kind of have going. Like you
I
said,
agree.
Jacoby Myers, this offense finds footing. You add Travis Hunter, and it feels like because of what Gladstone really gave up to move him, they're going to maybe like try to force it too much to get him the ball, where that might throw off the offense. So I kind of like that idea to keep him in the secondary because he was damn good cornerback.
Yeah, no kidding.
And that's what people don't want to say. He's actually a better DB than he is a receiver. I'm just being totally honest. I don't think Travis is a great receiver. He's athletic, got great hands, but he's small, terrible routes to me. He doesn't kind of understand concepts, but so I'm agreeing with you too. I think he could really be an all-pro DB, kind of Sauce Gardner type guy, and he'll stay healthy just staying over there. Like you don't have to take as many hits as you will coming back and forth.
Definitely another consideration.
Yeah, because he's going to need to be healthy. He's kind of been unhealthy since Jackson State 3 years ago. So I'm waiting to see if he can stay healthy a full season. So
it's interesting because I feel like part of the investment to move up the trade and get him, it was like with the intention to use him on both sides of the ball. When you give up that much capital, now he is a great player, but normally teams are not doing that unless it's a franchise altering quarterback. So what I think they'll do is I kind of agree with Nash here. I want to see him primarily on defense. Bring him in as a gadget guy on offense. Not all the time, but maybe he gets 4 touches a game on offense and it's a gadget play. And you can still bring him in on the offense as a decoy because teams are going to have to, oh shit, Travis Hunter's out there. Like we're going to have to make sure to give him some attention where you don't give him the ball every time. But when you do, it's a gadget play, an end around, some kind of screen, jet sweep, something like that where you use him and get his legs moving. And because when he's in space, he can be a freak and he's a problem. So that's how I would at least manage it. You can't overdo it, especially with the injury now. You got to manage his load. But kind of to get into go ahead.
I was just going to say another thing with the whole Travis Hunter trade up and everything that I think obviously the main contributor to that was our new GM. And I think obviously the GMs don't really get talked about as much, but I think James Gladstone was a phenomenal hire and he was who I was personally campaigning for. So I was really happy when that news broke. I mean, he worked up his ladder in the McVay tree for a decade. He's now working with Tony Baselli, only Hall of Famer franchise history. The management structure is just much more transparent, much more appealing to the fans. And he's been hitting, trade deadline, Jacoby Myers, draft, even though top pick Hunter hasn't been playing, we've still been dominating. So you just look at what we've done even without Hunter, and it really becomes clear to me at least that James Gladstone is one of those guys at the GM that can succeed for a long time.
So young. So young. That is, I'm telling you, like he is like one of I don't try to be envious of another man in his job, but like he's damn close because if I was 34, that's a 34-year-old GM in the NFL is a dream job at any point in your age. But 34.
But I also tell people all the time, those young guys got the good eyes. They don't mind getting on the road, watching people play in person. I mean, it's just it's a new era of everything, and I like the NFL going younger. Coaches, coordinators, GMs, get those old guys out of here. So, but that's why I left Dallas because them old guys is running the show ups there. So I had to get away from Dallas.
Another thing I think he brings that some of our past GMs haven't, like Trent Baalke, who is just despised by the whole fan base pretty much, was that he's just much more of a risk taker, which obviously is paid out. And he's also a cool person too. Like before the games, I was up at the Indy game a couple weeks ago. He throws the ball with Jags fans before the game. Definitely that relatability factor, even with the players, I think definitely has resonated at least somewhat,
Man of the people. I love it. All right, let's go into our final thing. We're going to do something new with the fan here today. The first time we're doing this Nash show, time for you to put on the strap on the boots and deliver. So we're going to do a keep 3, cut 3 Jaguars edition. We're excluding Tony Baselli because he's the best player in franchise history, obviously. So he's an obvious guy that you would keep. So we're cutting Tony Baselli out of this. So, but you cannot pick the same position twice. So we're going to go name by name. So keep that in mind. We're going name by name. So you might not know who's the next name, but so keep that in mind. You cannot pick the same position twice when you pick this first name. So let's start. Name number 1, keep 3, cut 3 Jaguars edition, Fred Taylor.
Ooh. I mean, he would be hard to leave out. In my opinion, he should be a Hall of Famer, arguably second best player of all time. Just such a load to take down. I feel like I got to put him in the keep category.
I was gonna do the same. Iman, you the same?
Oh, no doubt about it.
Yeah, that's an easy one. Man, Fred Taylor, I love. Oh man, he made me play the I was a Jaguars in Madden because of Fred Taylor in those unis.
Yeah, nice.
Fun.
Yeah.
All right, next one. We're gonna move over to quarterback Mark Brunell.
Ooh, I mean, obviously, it started the franchise, so that it is for that reason, especially, and for the conference championship appearances. It's tough. It's tough. I feel like I might have an idea of who else could be in, and at the same position. I think I know I would upset some fans here, but I'm gonna wait this out quarterback wise. but obviously the start of the franchise took us to 2 conference championships. Amazing player, ton of respect for him.
I was gonna say we can at least admit he's probably the best quarterback in franchise history to this point. But I get what you're doing. You're playing the upside route here, the long term game. So let's think next. Trevor Lawrence, keep or cut?
I gotta keep him right now, especially. I mean, the ceiling with him is just so high that I still don't think we've reached it, even with what we've seen so far. To me, I've got to keep him. I mean, face of the franchise, you name it. He's the guy right now in Jacksonville.
Okay, so since you picked Fred Taylor, I'm going to do a switch up here. I was going to include Maurice Jones-Drew in this, but you've already picked Fred Taylor at running back. So what I'm going to do now instead is I'm going to throw Jimmy Smith, wide receiver, at you.
Another really, really good player. He's also a cool guy. He interacts with the fans as well on Twitter too, which is fun. That's tough.
I'm trying to think of another receiver in Jags history who's better than Jimmy Smith.
Yeah, I mean, Keenan McCardle was really good, but not to that level.
Oh yeah, he was fun.
I mean, position wise, I'm gonna include Jimmy for sure. I'm gonna include Jimmy Smith. Yeah.
Okay, so that's your 3. So would you keep those 3, knowing that the next 2 names on the board are Mercedes Lewis and Josh Allen Hines?
Ooh. I might have subbed out Jimmy for Mercedes just because of, I mean, not to discredit Jimmy whatsoever, but the level of respect I have for Mercedes for still competing at his age and being in the league for so long. I think he might come in there just for that reason alone, but still an awesome list.
It's still a good roster you put in. Hey, Big Dog came over to Green Bay. That man, that's an extra lineman out there if nothing else. And first round pick, just a freak, one of the best Jaguars of all time. Never got enough really respect in the league.
Hell no. I barely can get out the bed at 43 and my back hurt. He's in the NFL.
Yeah.
That's impressive. And listen, quarterbacks can do it. Tom Brady can do it. They don't have the wear and tear. They don't have the banging and clanging. That guy is banging and clanging. Good. He needs a little bit more respect than he's ever getting, but it's all good.
Yeah.
I mean, and now that I'm curious, because we're not going to really get to defense, but if you had to start your team with one top defensive pick of your guys, is Josh Allen Hines or Trayvon Walker, who would you start your team with?
I would probably say Josh Hines Allen, just because he's been around.
Hines Allen, my bad.
Yeah. No, it's fine. He's been around the culture longer, and I think personally he's just a stronger leader. And I think the pressure he's been bringing is just unbelievable lately. Obviously, the sack total isn't quite as high as you would like to see. But Trayvon's obviously been improving year by year. Another guy that just skyrocketed this year. But I would probably choose JHA there.
Yeah, Hines Allen or Walker is a tough decision, because those guys are nice staples. Again, I think fans are going to want to see Walker's sack totals come back up to what they were. Maybe it's a change of the scheme, but he was so effective against the run. Big reason why that's the best run defense in football. Iman, you got anything else for Nash before we let him go here?
Hey, listen, Nash, 2013, I was working down in Jax Beach, and
oh, nice.
I used to be a contractor, so I was down there. I spent 8 months down there. Loved it. And they used to tell me not to go over there to Duval, but I went because I just needed a little culture. But I can tell you, Jacksonville is one of the just best places to be. If I had to retire, it'd be Jacksonville or Hawaii, just because of the weather,
Nice,
the women, all that.
I was gonna say you're gonna say the woman. I know it.
So it was a good place to be. 23, and I was a little younger then too, Nash. So I could tell you some stories, but man, we appreciate you coming on tonight.
Yeah,
listen, hopefully I'm right because I like to be right on this show. But if I'm not, why not? Hey, I want to see Jacksonville get one. Why not?
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right, Nash. I mean, you do a lot of stuff covering the Jags on Twitter. So at the very least, why don't you tell the folks where they can find your stuff?
You can find me at NashJagsNats22 on Twitter. Post daily Jag stuff. Love it. Love interacting with the fans on there. And yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. Super excited to be going down to Duval County to actually attend the game. So really looking forward to that. And
hell yeah,
flying down. So really excited. And go Jags.
Very cool, man. Yeah, have fun at the game. That's a sweet one to go to. That's an awesome opportunity that you can go to that. So enjoy it. We'll keep on the lookout for some picks coming from that one. That's gonna be a good time.
Nice. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Duval. All right, man. Have a good one, Nash.
Thanks so much.
Nash.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right, good stuff as always with the fan coming on. Nash knows his ball, man. He knows his ball. I'm surprised you're not changing your mind on that Bills-Jags game, but
nope. I'm telling you, he jinxed them with them stats. He should have kept them stats to himself. Watch me, Austin. Watch me work. I've been doing this a long time. He just jinxed this team.
Speaking of jinxing, dude, some guy out there released a Packers playoff song, and it was the most cringe shit I've ever seen. They called it Jordan Love. It blew up Packers Twitter, and every single one on Packers Twitter was like, well, it was a fun season. This one's over. It was one of those songs where it's so cringe and bad. But thankfully, and maybe Joey saw this one, a guy on the Bears side did the same thing. It's like, all right, we're back. They saved us. We're back. I can't believe they saw that. And that dude getting roasted. That video had millions and millions of views.
Damn.
Entirely getting roasted. The initial video didn't even get like 1,000 likes, and it was in the millions. He got cooked. Oh, man.
Damn.
And then the Bears guy comes in and saves our life by doing the same exact thing. So, hey, speaking of just like jinxing things, man, do not make a song about your team. Unless you know that Colts guy for the shoe, that whatever, I don't remember his name is, but he's been doing that. That's his thing. You know, it's the Colts fans love it. The Colts love it. But please don't try to make some country rap song about your team for the love of God, especially as a white dude. It's all bad. It's all so bad. So that happened in Packers Bears land leading up to leading that game. But speaking of Bears land, let's bring on our guy Joey. He's back to lead us on the news desk today. Joey's repping his ugly Bears hat. Joey, you got a stain on your hat if you need to go change that quick.
Oh, so sorry. It's the green and gold that I'm gonna beat the shit out of this weekend.
Yeah.
Joey, what's going on, man? How we doing?
It's Packer week, baby. So all hands on deck. Nothing else matters. I need to get in full game mode, tailgate prep. I need a W. They haven't won a playoff game since I was in high school.
Damn.
Okay? That's how brutal they've been. But little Joey with turquoise braces, the last time these Bears won
remember the
playoff game.
Remember the pick. Young man, young boy at the time.
Young boy. So
Before we crack into the news desk, I'm really curious to see, because obviously we've talked a lot about Caleb's. I don't know if you saw the episode when you're gone. I tried to give him the props and the love. He's scaring me. I've been seeing a lot more people try to call up, because obviously there's a lot of debate about what Caleb Williams is or is not. I think everyone can agree he took a step forward this season for sure. And I think everyone agrees there's been more of those big time like freak arm talent throws. But what a lot of folks are calling out is it a little fraudulent? I'm not sure where I stand on this one, so I want to hear, in the sense that he's playing with one of the, if not the best rushing attack in football, with one of the best offensive lines in football. You got, who is it, Thuney, and your left tackle, right tackle were both Pro Bowlers this year. I can't remember. Darnell Wright.
Yep.
So one of the best offensive lines, one of the best run games, but he is was one of the most inefficient quarterbacks by a lot of regards. So, like, where do you stand on that whole argument about like what his season was?
You know, we talked about it a little while ago, and I don't think he's a fraud. I think he's really damn good. I just think he's still growing, and there's a lot of pressure on a number one pick to be amazing off the bat. And it's night and day from last year to this year, but he's still got a lot to grow in, right? He makes the unbelievable play, but the easy dump off to a running back, he'll miss. And it's very inconsistent. And that's what's infuriating, but I feel like that's things you can learn, right? He's doing the sensational and the unbelievable. And that can, I hope, only grow. So I would say I am still drinking the Kool-Aid on him, but he still has a lot of room to build upon. And if anyone's going to get it out of him, is Ben Johnson. He's in the perfect situation. If it doesn't work, that's on the quarterback, not on the coach, in my opinion, right now. So it's
interesting.
It's fascinating. And it's just so rare here to even talk about, right? So you asked me these questions. I've never seen it in my life. So it's
one of the things that blew up today, and this is why I'm asking, because there's a lot of Bears fans reacting to it. So I want to see what your take was, that they were calling about the pass blocking being a top 3 pass blocking unit in all of football, and the amount of time he had to throw. He had the 3rd best average time to throw in football this year, yet he ranked in the bottom 10 in rolling out, in throws while he was rolling out, avoiding pressure, extending plays. Like, he was 30th in adjusted completion percentage, which takes into the drops and all of these things. He was 30th in highly accurate throw rate, 34th in catchable throw rate. And the Bears were only 5th in drop percentage. So it was like one of those, like, this guy's talking about how inefficient he's been, but at the same time, like, we're seeing maybe the best arm talent in the sport right now coming up.
That's why
very weird,
man. I hate these dweebs that get online with that. Listen, first and foremost, the Bears are doing better than they have in a long time. And listen, quarterbacks win games. I don't care what nobody say. Talk to your fucking faces blue. And he's only a 2nd-year quarterback. They acting like he's a 5-year vet. He spent 2 years in the NFL. Like, I just hate these dweebs, man. There's nobody who knows anything about football who's going to say Caleb Williams is a fraud. He's an exceptional talent. He made plays when they needed to be made this year. I don't care what nobody say. That throw to DJ Moore a couple weeks ago in OT, it's maybe three people. And I'm sorry, 3 people that can probably make that throw right now. And if you telling me making that throw is a fraud, you need to get off the internet. You need to stop watching fucking football and go be a mathematician or something, because you're good with numbers, but you don't know what you're looking at, buddy.
Iman, did I just hear you say that quarterbacks wins are a quarterback stat? So then how does that go for your Jalen Hurts argument?
Listen, but listen. Well, it all started because we said, is Jalen Hurts better than Dak? So I've always respected Jalen Hurts as the winner. I just don't think he's better than Dak, and I don't think he's better than maybe 15 other quarterbacks in the league. I think Caleb Williams is a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts.
100%. Oh, 100%. Yeah, I'm taking them all day. You know what? One thing I did notice about Caleb Williams, because I try to watch a lot of NFC North, or as much as I can stay tapped in. It seems like one of the biggest faults to his game was last year was taking too many sacks and not getting rid of the ball. And this year was a big, big improvement in that regard. And obviously, I mean, way more of those like amazing throws that you just hate to be on the other side of. So I feel like we're trying too hard to break down Caleb Williams into being something less than what he is. And it's like Trevor Lawrence with the Jags fan. We're starting to see more of the ceiling, and it looks freaking absurdly dangerous. No matter how you want to cut it or try to tear it down, it looks dangerous. But sorry,
and the, like with Trevor Lawrence, right? It took time. Like, if you asked this question 2 years ago, you're like, I don't know, he's going in the wrong direction. And with Williams, it's now grow time. There's no excuses. And I think, I was trying to remember what I said a couple weeks ago. I think it was, he's infuriatingly amazing because he does the incredible, but it's the easy where you look to your left and your right and you go, how the hell did he miss that throw? Like, it's impossible. So it's those, I think, come with the territory of learning how to pick apart NFL defenses, and he'll get better and better with that. But I don't think it's fraudulent at all. I think he's just learning, and they've gotten incredible plays, and with that, really lucky at some of these end of games to put them in a position now where they could beat anybody. And that's, I think, the biggest thing of all of it. Take away the on-field talent. it's that intangible, because that was a big thing coming into when they drafted him, right? Oh, he's a diva off the field, doesn't care enough about football, he paints his nails, what have you. Now you see it, it's like, oh, like they believe in this guy, and he believes in them, and that took a lot of convincing for some guys like DJ Moore, who was Justin Fields or bust. And that's a big deal now that they're all bought into this guy. That's going to win you the locker room and has won you games probably, even when he's had an off night.
Yep, it seems like the Bears are finally going to have a quarterback worth extending a second contract to. It's been a long while, but I think why don't we kind of just burn in the news desk? Why don't we kick off into the news desk here, and what do we got? And we got coaching carousels to talk about, but what's going on in the news desk for this week?
All right, heading into the news desk today, we're starting off with college football. Potential Heisman QB Damon Williams had a wild week, committing to the Huskies, decommitting, now back to recommitting to his team, signed a $4 million or so NIL deal before entering the transfer portal. It's college football free agent crazy, where these players dictate the market. The agents don't like that. The fact there's agents in college football is bananas now. But where are we going with this portal issue for Williams, but also what it means for the bigger picture on this crazy world of the portal?
I mean, this was bound to happen. This is the mess and the bed that the NCAA created, these types of things. And what timing when this got happened. So it happened on Tuesday while the team is at a celebration of life event. And we're talking about like LSU being in the mix. And at the same point, Lane Kiffin sitting at a like courtside or something with an LSU quarterback, like recruit at the same point as Damon Williams. So yeah, it was super strange. Obviously, on Thursday, it comes out that he's returning to Washington officially after Washington threatened to sue him over this whole contract thing. So the Huskies actually blocked his exit and threatened the legal action over the contract clauses. And then, sure enough, because he's talking about, I'm going to go to LSU, I'm going to go to Tennessee, then Damon Williams' agent cuts ties with him over philosophical differences about the programs. And I think the big reason why, because, you got Jed Fish coming out and he had a statement about, oh, yeah, me and Damon had a lot of conversations before he finally announced a turn. And look, I'm out here in Washington. I kind of know the pulse on what we're feeling, like what the team thinks on both Damon Williams and Jed Fish. I ain't buying that Jed Fish was a needle mover in this conversation. I'm of the believer that it was either going to be Damon Williams or his next program was paying back $4 million was the deal. That was being reported, that whatever happens, if he leaves Washington, someone owes us $4 million, and it's coming out of the university you go to, or it's coming out of Damon Williams' pockets. And something tells me that's where this whole thing crashed and burned. And it's good for Washington because this is a legitimate Heisman quarterback talent next season. He came on. He looks so good. He had another really solid year this year. And what, Ima, you don't think so? Have you watched this cat? I've watched like every game of this cat. He is damn good.
So listen where I come from. Because I'm a QB. I'm born to
You're a
bred
Malik Washington guy.
No, well, yeah. I look at quarterbacks and I look at who they're gonna be as far as their character, their integrity, their morals and shit like that. Because that's some locker room shit. You're gonna need the team to follow you. You're gonna need the team to trust you. With me, if you didn't want to be here, you can go out on the go. And like I said, I tell people all the time, I have a nephew that's in FBS now. He was thinking about transferring. I'm saying, listen, you stay where they wanted you, they trusted you, allowed you to grow into this. Money. If you want to get money, you just grind and play hard, because the real money is going to be on the next level. But we want to be where we're celebrated, who believed in you. My nephew will never enter in that transfer portal because we're going to stand on principles, morals, and loyalty. They were the people who believed in you at first. So that's me. I just wouldn't want them. As a receiver, I wouldn't want them in my locker room. Austin, I'd be like, you don't think I'm good enough that's going to get you to the next level. And you're picking, and granted, $4 million is cool, but you do 4 years in the NFL and you're a $200 million man.
Yeah. Yeah, true. I mean, that's a good point. I mean, I can't blame a man for chasing bag and going to try to get more. And if he thought, hey, LSU is going to be a better opportunity for me to win, because, on the offensive side for Washington, they're losing Denzel Boston. They're losing Jonah Coleman. And it's going to be kind of this situation to monitor.
Y'all
They're
have
always, they bring in,
receivers for the
I was gonna
past
say,
5 years. Y'all
it
get
doesn't
them
end there.
guys in. Y'all get them guys in.
They've been a receiver factory lately. So it was probably going to all work out. And on defense, their defense, it's not like if it got worse, that'd be tough, because their defense was not great this season. It's probably going to be more of the same next year. But yeah, I mean, I get the point here. Like, locker room wise, like, he's going to come in and probably get a couple sour looks. I could totally see that.
He gotta buy
Obviously,
everybody
Jeff Fish,
watches. He can buy.
Oh,
he
yeah.
can calm down by buying everybody watches.
Let me see a little bit of that $4 million right back in my pocket. Then we'll be cool if I got a Rolex, if I'm rolling up to the stadium in a Rolex. So interesting story though. Wild story.
Why do people fuck with Lane Kiffin though? I hate Lane. I hate Lane. No, seriously. He as a quarterback, how can you trust him? He may spend 1 year there and head off to the next job. I don't know why people trust him.
I think the only time you can trust Lane Kiffin if it's in the first 2 years. If you get the first 2-3 years with Lane Kiffin, you're safe. After that, you can't trust him. He could be gone after 2-3 years, whatever, and I wouldn't trust him outside of that. But otherwise, he's a proven winner, man.
It's like a president. You got the first, until the midterms, and then you turn over.
Yep. Yeah, that's a great point. Absolutely. And then it's a whole new regime. We have no idea what's going to happen now. All right, what's next?
All right, next up to the NFL, Mr. John Harbaugh, fired by Iman's Ravens after 18 years. 18 years. That's a crazy number for an NFL coach.
Yeah.
Narrowly missing the playoffs. Again, that meme of the kick goes one way, Tomlin's out the door, the kick goes the other way, then Harbaugh's out the door. And sure enough, that's what we got. But is he now, the hottest coach on the market here? Or, and I heard this today, is it another coach that is phenomenal, has won a Super Bowl, etc., but has a generational talent in Lamar Jackson and could never get him to the promised land, and our team's scared of that? That was an interesting point I heard today too, on evaluating if teams would want him or not. But what do we think of the firings and shockwaves for the league, and where do we think he ends up?
So I do want to preface this too, because I don't want any Baltimore. I respect John. I thought he did an awesome, because I haven't been a Ravens fan that long. 2 years. I'm only 2 years in, but I do want to be serious. He's been a great coach for 18 years. Just being somewhere for 18 years kind of tells you who he is as a man, as a coach, and what he can do in the NFL. So I know I'm joking and playing, but I thought it was time for a new voice for Lamar. I don't think John could get Lamar where he needed to be. I think Lamar needs either young, or he needs an offensive guy who can prove. I'm telling you, I'm big on Mike McCarthy. I know a lot of people don't like him. He is a quarterback wizard. I think he's the guy that Lamar needs, that can get him to he's an excellent play caller too. I'm telling you, he made Dak Prescott into an MVP guy. Dak Prescott was nowhere near the Thor when Jason Garrett was there. Mike McCarthy made him this guy. So John Harbaugh, he's going to get a great job. I mean, I think he should go to the Giants.
Sounds like Giants are coveted, are creaming the shorts to get him in the door, it sounds like. But he came out smartly. He said, I'm not taking an interview until essentially after wild card week, which I think is smart. Wait to see what happens with the Eagles, Bills, and Packers. If one of those teams are a first-round exit, there might be a new head coaching vacancy open that he might like a little bit more. And, I can see it playing out with the Giants in just a comically Giants way. Somehow it'll go shitty. But I don't know, Ima. I mean, why don't you give us, like, who you think or who you would maybe want for the Ravens to bring in? You mentioned McCarthy. We'll bring up McCarthy later in the news desk as well.
Clint Kubiak. Bring him in. Now, I'm going to tell y'all, I like Cliff Kingsbury as a play caller. I'm not sure who he is as a head coach, but I like his offenses with Daniels that first year. I think Lamar would really be successful with that type of offense that he ran with JD his rookie season, taking him to the NFC Championship game. He made Daniels into an elite player. So I wouldn't mind Cliff Kingsbury either. And I'm just being totally honest because he's a hell of a play caller. But we would have to bring a DC in. I like Flores too. I wouldn't, if we go defense, I want a tough guy defense. I want a fucking guy that's gonna pound our team, that's gonna be on top of everybody, hold everybody accountable. So I wouldn't mind Flores if we go defense, but Clint Kubiak or Kingsbury.
How do you feel about Saleh? They requested to interview him as
no. He's already been a loser. I don't want losers.
I mean, Kingsbury wasn't a winner as a head coach.
He had Kyler Murray, who wants to play Call of Duty all night, man.
But, I mean, look at who the Jets had with Saleh at quarterback. They had injured Rodgers, never healthy. They had shit. Their offensive coordinator was trash.
I get it, but Kyler Murray's not Aaron Rodgers. Kyler Murray, everybody hates him in Arizona. He was the reason that guy got fired. So, I like Kingsbury play calling. I'm telling you, that JD stuff he was doing with the Commanders, man, Lamar would he would be back to the MVP status.
Well, how about on that point, the man who engineered that first MVP for Lamar, Greg Roman? How do we feel?
No.
Okay.
No, he blew games. He blew games when Lamar was MVP in them playoff games with play calling. Fuck no. Wherever he's at, keep him there.
I mean, if you guys go DC, it's kind of like our Packers fan mentioned. Lamar is deep enough to know his tenure where you can work a DC as a head coach here. It's not a young guy. It's not a rookie quarterback or anything like that. It's an MVP talented quarterback. So, but that said, I feel like if you get a DC, it's so important you nail that offensive coordinator job. And at that point, I'm hoping, if I'm them, that I can swindle Brian Dable or Mike McDaniel into being, maybe even a Kingsbury, into being my OC, potential head coach in waiting if the DC doesn't work out. Someone who's like, if you don't get a job this cycle as a head coach, that you're going to be coveted in one dominant season later or 2 seasons later, kind of keep establishing themselves as a candidate. So I think it's just one of those things that even though Lamar is what he is at this point, really, really good, and could be still very, very good with a defensive head coach, still, you got to have the right play caller in there, right? I mean, we even this year, we saw what happened with Lamar without the right play caller. I mean, granted, they need to go out and get themselves a damn wide receiver 1, 2, for the love of Pete. It can't be old DeAndre Hopkins and Zay Flowers next year. No. It can't be. All right, Joey, what's next?
All right, next up, we have the Miami Dolphins. The fans are free. Mike McDaniel fired after a 7-10 season. Should he be in line for another head coaching job? It seemed like he was going to be safe. They got rid of the GM before him, and he was sounding okay. One more shot with Tua, and then he gone. Is he getting another job? And what would be a good fit for him? Is he a head coach again? Is he a really successful OC somewhere, developing a new young quarterback? What was his kind of legacy there, and where do we think he's going to end up?
This was an interesting one because by all accounts, you won't find anything that says different. He was loved inside that building. Clearly, it wasn't working out ultimately. Blame Tua, blame McDaniel, whoever you want. And then, but he was loved. And that's why it sounds like he was surprised when he thought he had that job safe. And he was surprised. And then you got Josina Anderson out here reporting that the Dolphins had been in contact with Harbaugh before they fired McDaniel, and then they fired McDaniel. So, and now that rumor has been like, they were independent of each other, allegedly. So there's that. But, I really like the idea here. I mean, McDaniel had a good run. Think about those first 2 seasons he had in Miami, how good they were. They were 6th in yard per games year 1, 1st in yard per game year 2. They were 11th and 2nd in points a game those 2 years. And it really, the thing is, and coincidentally, Tua was also one of the best passers in football those 2 years, right? I think it was in 2022, he led in passer rating. In 2023, he led in passer yards. And that offense was really hinged around Tua's talents. And so for me with McDaniels, I think he's definitely going to get head coach, a couple head coaching interviews for sure. I think he's a guy where, he's already got requested for the Lions offensive coordinator job. I think with him, it would be best for him to go back and establish himself as an OC for 2 seasons, rebuild the brand. Maybe it's 1 season and you absolutely just murder, and you can get back into the coaching carousel after one season, and then be the hottest coach, in the next coaching year. So I think that would be best for him, and you're going to have great opportunities. Think about it with Seattle. Go be the OC and Seahawks, replace Kubiak. And you get Sam Darnold in that offense and JSN to work with, or go to Washington, replace Kingsbury, get Jaden Daniels. I really would like to just see him get comfortable calling offense and not worrying about the whole team thing. He seemed like he was an okay-ish guy. The team really liked him, but go and have an offense where I want to see him with a more athletically prolific quarterback and an offense built around a more athletically prolific quarterback. Obviously, that's not the Lions' case here. But that's kind of where I'm at. I don't know, Iman, where are you at with McDaniel?
I've never been a fan. The building's gonna love him because most losers love enablers, and that whole building is a whole bunch of losers. I'm being honest. Miami ain't never won shit, ain't gonna win shit.
True.
So they're gonna love the guy who enables them to just show up whenever, fall asleep in meetings. You never hold you accountable. He is a terrible head coach. He should never be a head coach again. I'm just being honest. There's no way you listen to him speak. You look at him on the sideline. You look the way he dressed. Yeah, just he shouldn't be an NFL head coach. Does he call good plays? Maybe every now and then. I think the NFL picks up on what he's trying to do. So I'm not sure he's a good coach. I'm tired of all these analyst guys, these video guys who get cool with a few people and get good jobs, and then they're considered, oh, he's the next McVay. No, he's not. Like, just stop that shit. Like, I just need them to stop it. I don't think he's a good coach. I don't think he's this good offensive genius that everybody said. Who can't score points with A-Chain, Tyreek Hill, and Waddle and the people they had? I don't care. You can bring me at quarterback and we're going to score, because if you get Tyreek the ball, A-Chain the ball, they're going to break some shit every now and then. I don't think he's a good coach, but maybe I'm a hater. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I see there's definitely argument. It's not like an invalid thing. It's been bad. It got a little bit ugly here with this last season. And, I personally thought he was going to have another chance with a new quarterback in there. Like, let's give him another chance. Let's give him till Thanksgiving with a new quarterback and see if it looks different, because we've seen the first 2 years of this system was amazing. But in the same point, like, tell me a time in McDaniel tenure there where the Dolphins roster felt like a roster built for success and Super Bowl runs, right? Obviously, Waddle, Tyreek, they eventually get A-Chain in there after the little Mostert run. But half his tenure has been with a totally brain-fried quarterback, like a toaster in the bathtub type of quarterback. That was into his brain. Toaster in the bathtub. And that's been half of his tenure. And even the first 2 years of it was, really, really solid. Like, they were in the playoffs. They were a playoff team, one of the best offenses in football. Everyone was drafting Tua in their fantasy leagues. Crazy stuff, man. And how quickly that's gone downhill. So I was definitely a little surprised they didn't give him another run with a new quarterback. But, with a new GM comes new, Troy Aikman's already doing something there clearly as a consultant, as a GM consultant. I told you, when Aikman got that job, that's not a GM consultant. That's a what we're doing at quarterback and figuring this all out from there type of thing. And I think there was McDaniel factored into that. Like, we're just going to start fresh. Let's start fresh. Let's run this up. I would love to see him go be an OC again. Like I said, reestablish the brand. I think he's going to get good opportunities for a head coaching job. Someone might bite.
Man, go coach high school, you fucking bum. He's a bum.
He's low key. I won't hate if he ends up as the Packers' next offensive coordinator. I will not hate it at all. I won't hate it at all.
I'd love to see this conversation next year. You just wait. You're going to be pissed. Trust me.
They look cold for those capris at Lambeau. So you're going to have a new fit.
It's going to make him not be able to wear capris anymore, damn it. And maybe this is what he needs, is some cold weather football. Maybe. No more capris. Maybe. And now he can be trusted wearing normal pants on the sideline. All right. What's next?
Going back to Iman's guy, Mike McCarthy. Giants have requested to interview him. Is he one of these top 2 to 3 coaching candidates in this cycle still? I'm team no on this. I remember he was in the Bears cycle when they were looking, well, first with the Eberflus, but then a little bit, but then with the Ben Johnson before that was official. And I know he's a great offensive mind. It's just not, I just think he's past his prime. I think he could be a great coordinator somewhere if he was humble enough to do so. But for right now, what these teams need with these new offenses, I just think it's a little beyond him, and I don't know if the players would buy in, right? I mean, it's not a Pete Carroll hire per se. I know it's very different, but it's that kind of old guard of coaches that were extremely successful, but can they resonate now with the NIL pipeline to NFL style attitude? It's different. That's just me, but I'm curious,
Joey,
what you guys are thinking.
Joey, I tell people all the time, and I know they make it seem like it's easy for people to do. Winning the Super Bowl isn't hard, and I get tired. It's he had Aaron Rodgers. Well, who else won with Aaron Rodgers? I'll wait for somebody to tell me who else won with him. Not only that, to get Dallas to 12-4 multiple years with dealing with Jerry Jones and people saying and granted, he's not a rah-rah guy. I've heard that when I was a Dallas fan. He's not the biggest motivator. He's kind of even goofy when it comes to trying to make those type of speeches. They're like, I seen the one thing when he tried to break the watermelon. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Oh my God.
It's just bad. But I'm telling you, I'm a believer in Mike McCarthy as offense. A young quarterback could use him. Great pay caller. And once again, Super Bowls are not. My boy Austin has not seen one since he's left. And and I know everybody said, we had Aaron Rodgers. Shit, you ain't seen one since he's left. Winning the Super Bowl is hard, and it's not too many coaches who are he could never be a coordinator. That would be disrespectful to his legacy to make him a coordinator. If he's not a head coach, brother, just retire and spend some time with your wife, get some massages or something. But I like him. I think he's a great coach. He deserves another shot. I don't know.
A team bringing in Mike McCarthy reminds me of Michigan bringing in Kyle Whittingham. This is not a 10-year fix. This is a 3 to 5 year fix. And at the end of the day, is this a guy who is the right coach for the situation and the quarterback we got? And we want to talk about Aaron Rodgers. Mike McCarthy inherited an Aaron Rodgers who held the ball up here in his dropbacks. You go look at Aaron Rodgers coming out of Cal, his mechanics were absolute
terrible.
Shit. And you can give Favre credit for helping him. Mike McCarthy is a huge reason why Aaron Rodgers got right and became what he did. So that's why I love Mike McCarthy for like a Giants job. And it sounds like the Giants are all in on Harbaugh, but something tells me Harbaugh is going to be all in on someone else. The Giants are it's somehow going to blow it, and they're going to come back screaming to Mike. But I love him for a Jackson Dart. They invested in him. I think they should continue to invest in him. Whoever they end up with at quarterback is going to be a young guy anyways and is going to need help to develop. Mike McCarthy is a great quarterback guy, always has been. So I really like him as a short-term fix to go to a Giants. Let's get this program back on track here. Let him sail off into the sunset. Now we got the quarterback is established. And you go to a Giants, like you're inheriting an offense with Malik Neighbors, Cam Scadaboo. You got your cornerstone left tackle. You got a Jackson Dart who showed a lot of flashes and potential. You got stars on that defense up front too. So there's a lot to work with. And if we're talking about like who is the best coach in this market or not, you can't sit here and tell me John Harbaugh is a better candidate. They're essentially the same coach, and the only difference is Mike McCarthy's got a bag of donuts sitting in his gut. That's about the only difference.
And he can call plays. John Harbaugh doesn't call plays, not on offense or defense.
100%. They pretty much have exactly the same winning percentage. McCarthy has one more winning season than Harbaugh. He's got 17 to his 16. He's got more division titles. He's got the same amount of Super Bowl wins. And he's 500 in the playoffs, where Harbaugh's like 12 and 10. It's the same coach. And you want to talk about his tenure in Dallas again? There was some toxic times in Dallas when he was there. And Dak was an MVP quarterback. The run game was like nothing special by any stretch of the imagination. He went 12-5 in back-to-back seasons, which hadn't been done since Jimmy Johnson was there. And, again, just always dealing with Jerry Jones' bullshit in the front office, which was facilitating a toxic culture. So Big Mike, man, I just don't see how he's far behind the number 1 or 2 coach in this round. If you just want to stack him up, his resume next to the old guys. I like the point, Joey, like it is a fair. Has the NFL passed him by? Because when he came to Dallas, it's like, well, he's been sitting back, watching, digesting, taking in the new league. And it seems like now that's happening again, where taking in a new league and whatnot. But I just think it would be really good for him to go somewhere and help develop a young quarterback, help get another program on track. And that's why if it's not the Giants, my big bet is he ends up in Tennessee. And Cam Ward, it's the same exact situation. This program needs to get back on track. We got the quarterback. We need a guy to get this quarterback to the next level now. And Mike McCarthy knows their president of football operations, Chad Brinker, from their time in Green Bay. So there's already some logical ties for him ending up in Tennessee as well. And so Giants, Tennessee, those are my big bets for Mike McCarthy. If it's not Giants, because it sounds like they're all on Harbaugh, I feel like he's gonna be the guy in Tennessee. If I'm a coach, if I'm a team looking for a guy who's like, all right, I got the quarterback. We are not where we want to be. Our quarterback needs help developing. There's not a better coach on this market than Mike McCarthy in terms of who am I going to trust to develop. And then 5 years later, 3 years later, whatever it is, once we're back on track, now we go get our coach of the future for the next 15 years. That's how I would play it out with Mike McCarthy. That's how I would play it out in this situation if I'm a team, personally. But all right. All right, we're at time here, so we're gonna cut it. We're gonna cut it a little short. We're gonna try to wrap up our episode a little earlier for y'all. This time we've been running heat with some of these playoff and college football conversations. But that was another good one. Another great man. That Jags fan. That had to be one of our most knowledgeable fans. That was
smart young guy, man.
Woo!
He is smart young guy. I like these smart young guys, man.
Yeah.
Now he don't look like he ever played no ball, but
he knows ball. Hey,
and listen, He reminded me when I was down in Jacksonville too. I had started having some flashbacks when I was. I had a good Austin 2013. I was having the best time. I was single. I was making government contractor. Listen, I was having a good time, boy. I wish I would have known Nash. He would have had me at one of them games. Ooh, boy.
I love it. All right. Well, hey, I hope everyone enjoys Wild Card Weekend. I'm sure me and Joey will have some things to talk about. We'll absolutely have some things to talk about next. What's that? Hold up.
One of the new state championship rings that your boy done won. And that's why I feel like, let me get it close. Everybody talk about Mike McCarthy. You said I got a whole bunch of young people that think they can do what I do. But they ain't got these. I got two of them though. That's just one. My other one's over there, but those just came in. So I like to tell them it's hard to win the state title now. Mm-hmm. It's hard to win them, but everybody think they can do it. So the new ones came in. But
all right, I see it. Okay, Tom Brady with the rings all over your fingers and stuff, man. Heavy hand. Love to see it. Good. That's a nice ring right there. That's an expensive looking ring right there. I thought you were showing me a wedding ring for a second, to be totally honest.
It's her birthday, but hey, she's not getting that birthday present today.
Not that one. She might. Hey, she might catch a blue chew though, right?
That's the birthday gift she need. I wish I had one, Austin. I would get right off this show and go right in there.
All right, we're gonna wrap it there. That's a lot to play. All right, till next week. We'll see you.